Self-management skills, session 2, ability to work independently. Let us discuss today this particular session, okay, and to see how can we work independently. People use different methods to accomplish a task. Some prefer to work in groups, whereas others prefer working independently. The capacity to work on our own is an important asset. Working independently in the absence of any outside influence can be extremely beneficial for an individual, as the passion for achieving something of our own can pave our path to success and boost our confidence. Being independent teaches us how to be self regulated and self motivated to become a self managed individual. One should not depend on others for guidance. Instead, take initiatives of his own. An independent individual can manage his time well and become a potential leader. What is the meaning of an independent person? An independent person is aware of his feelings and characters, observes and evaluates his behavior, corrects his mistakes. He knows what he needs to do. An independent person takes the initiative rather than being told what to do. He takes ownership of his mistakes without looking for excuses and does not require constant assistance or supervision to complete the task. He works to the best of his ability. Now you can see here what people can do as an independent person. So these are the different posts in the profession, what he can, what a person can do as a creator, promoter, assessor, organizer, producer, controller, maintainer, advisor, and linker. So this actually makes his own team, and under his direction or under his supervision or guidance, this particular team can work in order to achieve a success. Fine. So let us see what are the advantages of working independently. Boost self-confidence. Independent people are likely to be more confident in handling problems affecting their lives. It is because they can take actions and are prepared to do things without support or permission from others. The knowledge that they can face any challenge will instill more confidence in them. Makes the person self-reliant. An independent person is resourceful and relies only on himself. He likes to enjoy a free-flowing work style that requires discipline and self-awareness. Makes the person emotionally independent. Independent people experience challenging life situations without involving other people. Emotional independence improves their relations with friends and family and make them stronger. Making makes decisions uh, easily. People who are emotionally and financially dependent on others cannot make strong and timely decisions. An independent person knows that his decisions will only impact him, so this makes it easy for him to take any step. Brings out the best in person. Having a free and independent mind gives the freedom to explore one's own skills and talents, which ultimately brings out the best in person. Increases self-value and self-esteem. The achievement of emotional, social, and personal self-independence gives the person a sense of accomplishment. This eventually changes the perception of a person about himself and how others perceive him. Makes the person accountable. An independent person is wholly responsible for the outcome of the task which he has undertaken. If he fails to accomplish the task, he is answerable for it and likewise gets full credit when he succeeds in finishing it. So these are the advantages of working independently. Now let us see what are the skills required to work independently. One most important aspect is self-motivation. It is an essential trait that a person needs to work independently. He should be able to motivate himself to complete the task successfully. So it is very clear from this statement that to complete the task successfully, okay, even in the absence of others, when one is there, his duty is to work independently and to succeed. Organizational skill is one of the most important skill that a person needs to have. He can organize his tasks in a manner that best suits him. He can hence achieve his objectives on time. Multitasking ability is a must-have skill for an independent person. A person who works alone should be able to handle multiple tasks at the same time if required. A person should be disciplined enough to organize his workflow and follow the planned schedule as he is self-accountable. Then only he can manage his team and our teamwork will be better. Okay. And communication skills is very important for the independent workers. Good communication skills are a basic necessity in order to upgrade or update themselves. They should know all the resources what he or she is having as a self-dependent person. Okay. And while working independently, we might face problems, or he might face problems which need to be resolved without anybody's assistance. Hence, we need to be resourceful to handle any situation. So that is the point. Communication make a person updated. Okay, so a good communication is very much required. It's a requirement for a self-dependent person. All right, self-independent person. I mean. All right. So how to become self-reliant? Okay. So we are now aware of the benefits of being independent. Let us see how a person can be self-reliant. Okay, so three important points: self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulation are the one. All right. Self-awareness means being aware of personality, including your strengths, weakness, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, motivations, etc. Self-awareness allows us to understand other people, how they perceive you, your attitude as responses. It is important to be self-aware because it influences our personal development. When we are self-aware, we are more confident, innovative, and empathetic. Our decision-making abilities and communication skills are also enhanced. Those with enhanced self-awareness, we can work independently and become more effective leaders. Thus, self-awareness is an essential factor in achieving success and become independent. So, self-awareness is most important one. Okay, and you have heard just now that how a self-awareness person can succeed in his life. Okay, because of his skills. Okay, and discipline and other and other matters as well. All right. Now there are two types of self-awareness. Okay, one is the external self-awareness and internal self-awareness. We'll come little after sometimes self-motivation and self-regulation. Let us see what is actually the self-awareness types of self-awareness. This type of self-awareness means like external one, understanding how other people perceive us. External self-awareness often surfaces in situations when people are the center of attention. For example, while giving a presentation or talking to a group of friends. People who have a high degree of external self-awareness may be categorized as pleasures. They are aware that their actions and behaviors are being evaluated, so they often behave in a socially acceptable way. External self-awareness can also cause people to become distressed, anxious, or worried about how others perceive us. They always think that how whatever if my presentation is not better, then people may not like me. Okay, that is the thing. So this is a bit disadvantageous sometimes. Okay, and it actually affects the presentation. Okay, if the person is not that sound or the resource and he or she does not have the proper resources. All right. Now, internal self-awareness, this type of self-awareness represents how we see our values, passions, aspirations, thoughts, feelings, behavior, strengths, weaknesses, and the impact on others and their impact on others. For example, feeling nervous when you realize that your teacher has caught you lying. Okay, that's the thing. High job and relationship satisfaction, personal and social control, and happiness are some of the positive aspects of internal self-awareness. Whereas anxiety, stress, and depression are some of the negative aspects. To become more self aware, we must ask ourselves these three questions every day. What went well today? What did not go so well? How can I be smarter tomorrow? These are the important things. Fine. So the thing is that these people are having low external self awareness and high external self awareness. So actually the internal self-awareness, they're introspectors, they're clear on who they are and they do not challenge their views, often harming the relationships and limiting their success. Okay, this is actually the low external self-awareness and high external self-awareness. Aware, they know who they are, what they want, and seek out other people's opinions. They are the great leaders. Low external self-awareness people are seekers. They do not know who they are, what they stand for, or how others perceive them. They feel frustrated with their performance and relationships. And high external self-awareness people are pleasures. They are too focused on what others think and fail to focus on what matters to them. They make choices that hinder their success and achievements. So persons, that's why the person who are having the high external self-awareness, they are the great leaders that we have seen from the study. All right. Now we are coming to the self-motivation. All right. Self-motivation. What is that? Okay. This to go back a little. Yes, self motivation. Okay, self motivation drives a person to attempt and accomplish tasks. It occurs when a person independently uses one or more strategies to keep himself on track towards achieving a goal. There are four elements: personal drive to achieve, to desire to improve, or to meet specific standards. Next is commitment to personal or organizational goals, initiative or readiness to act on opportunities, optimism, which is ability to continue and pursue goals in the face of failures. Self-motivated people tend to be more organized, have excellent time management skills, and more confidence. There are two types of self-motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. It refers intrinsic motivation. It refers to the behavior of a person that is driven by his innate desire, means extreme desire, to do something for his own sake and personal rewards. In other words, motivation to perform a task will come from within because the person finds the accomplishment quite satisfying. For example, a desire to learn a skill because you are eager to learn it. Suppose you want to learn the Python programming, you have a desire to do the things. You can learn programming or coding in any kind of language. Okay, so the examples you can take as participating in a sport because you find the activities enjoyable, cleaning your room because you like tidying up, exercising because you want to relieve stress. Okay, these are the intrinsic motivation, which actually refers to the behavior of a person that is driven by his innate desire, means his internal desire or a strong desire, you can say. And extrinsic, it refers to the behavior of a person that is driven by the desire to attain some sort of an external reward, including money, power, and good grades. The examples of extrinsic motivation are participating in a sport to win a reward. It is not the thing, it is not important for him. The participation is only important one. He wants to set his goal to win a reward. Cleaning your room to prepare for visitors coming over. You are not aware of yourself, you are thinking of others in that case. Exercising to lose weight. So different things motivate different people at different times in their lives. The same tasks may have more intrinsic motivators at certain times and more extrinsic motivators at others. Most tasks have a combination of both. Right? Let us see now self skills involved in self motivation, setting high but realistic goals, taking an appropriate level of risk, looking for constant feedback in order to improve, being committed to personal or organizational goals, utilizing opportunities, and continue to pursue goals despite setbacks. Means they don't be frustrated if they're failing. In that case, they will try to do more. Okay, so in order to achieve a certain goal, motivated individuals are capable of motivating others. They can be particularly important in leadership roles. Now we are coming to the self self awareness. Okay, or the self regulation, you can say. Fine. So the thing is that self-regulation is the ability to understand and manage our reaction to the things happening around us. Developing this ability requires self-awareness, emotional intelligence, efficient filtering of sensory stimulation, coping effectively with stress, and relating well to others, and sustaining focus. There are two types of self-awareness. One is the external self-awareness, another is the internal self-awareness. Now let us see what are these. Self-regulations is the ability to understand and manage our reaction to the things happening around us. It controls the reactions to emotions like frustration or excitement, coming down after something exciting or upsetting happens, focus on a task, refocus attention on a new task, get along with everyone else. These are the things that is there. All right. And now let us see importance of self-regulation. Okay. Self-regulation helps people. Okay. Self-regulations help people. All right. To behave in socially acceptable ways. It endows them with the ability to control impulses. Okay. You can see here the self-motivation types also, intrinsic motivation we had discussed already. Both have an impact on our behavior and how we pursue our goal. That is very, very important. Okay, now once again we are should coming back to the self motivational role we have seen. This one we have done it also. Setting high but realistic goals, taking an appropriate level of risk, all these things. Fine. So let us come to the self-regulations once again back. It helps in people in making friends. Okay, all right. Self-regulation allows children to share toys and express emotions like joy and anger in an appropriate manner. It makes people more independent as it enables them to make the right decisions about their behavior. It teaches them how to behave in different situations without any guidance. It helps in managing stress, and self-regulation helps people to cope with the strong feelings and enables them to calm down when they are very angry. Okay, here are some of the self-regulation qualities you can see. Control reactions to emotions like frustration or excitement, coming down after some time when exciting or upsetting happens. Focus on a task, refocus attention on a new task, and get along with everyone else. Fine. So these are the things. So we can say that the fundamentals of being independent are the ability to work on our own with minimal direction, confidence, self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulation. It teaches us how to respond to the difficulties and challenges that we might face in our everyday lives. It also instills a sense of being in control of our own learning and success. These are the things. So some of the recap portion, some of the portions that I am repeating once again. So which are the important in this particular chapter? So what you have to do out here, being independent teaches us how to be self-regulated and self-motivated. Very important. Independent people are likely to be more confident on handling problems affecting their lives, tend to rely less on others, easily make decisions, and are emotionally independent. In order to work independently, a person must possess certain skills like self-motivation, organizational skill, multitasking ability, discipline, communication skill, and resourcefulness. The keys to become self-reliant and self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulation. These are the keys that will make you self-reliant. What are the things? Self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulation. Self-awareness means being aware of your personality, including your strength, weakness, thoughts, belief, emotions, and motivations. There are two types of awareness. One is the external awareness, another is the internal awareness. External self-awareness requires understanding how other people perceive us, whereas internal self-awareness represents how clearly we see our own values, passions, aspirations, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, strengths, weakness, and their impact on others. Means how our quality can affect others or what will be the impact on others. There may be some good thing also can happen when the internal self-awareness is very strong. Self-motivation drives a person to attempt and accomplish tasks. There are two main types of motivation. One is called intrinsic, another is extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation refers to the behavior of a person that is driven by his innate desire to do something for his own sake and for personal rewards. Whereas extrinsic motivation refers to the behavior of a person that is driven by the desire to attain some sort of an external reward, including money, power, and good grades. Self-regulation involves being able to control reactions to emotions like frustrations or excitement. The fundamentals of being independent are the ability to work on our own with minimal direction, confidence, self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulations. These are the fundamentals of being independent, to work independently, rather. Okay, so these qualities to be there with minimal direction, confidence, self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-regulation. So you have seen, students, that how a person can work independently. Okay, so these are the qualities a person should have. Okay, so which I have discussed. Okay, so so you must like uh, uh, go through these particular things and also take a lesson from it. Okay, how to work independently, so when you are not getting others or no one is there to help you out. All right, so thanks to you all, and please go through this and note down and study this one well for your exam. Thank you.